Oh my goodness. I'm so excited.
This is exciting. So from what I understand here, so the High Rollers are undefeated as of yet this season.
That is correct. That is correct. And we got a little wave from the referees. We are getting very close to getting this bout all underway. I am so excited to be here tonight. This is my first private, closed, super special VIP Wednesday night bout. Thank you guys all for joining me for this great event. Thank you, Mistress.
Super, super exciting. Getting all lined up here. Looks like Liquor and Split lining up for the Betties.
Going to be facing off against none other than Felice Brutality, wearing the star for Gangrene.
And we are down to business here. Felice Brutality pushing her way, gets around Ripley. She's through. She's got lead jammer for the High Rollers.
Alicia Nisbet-Smith did a great job of keeping Liquor tracked behind her booty, but she did, in fact, carve out the similar path that Felice Brutality did, and she's hot on her heels.
Felice Brutality gets up into that pack. Picks up 1 point, calls off the jam, keeping the Betties from picking up any points of their own.
Wearing the star for the High Rollers is Minstrel Psycho, number 28.
And we've got number 120, Super Six-Pack, with the star on her helmet for the Breakneck Betties.
Now, the Betties do currently have a blocker advantage on their hand. They do have a full pack of 4 blockers looking to inflict some damage against the High Rollers jammer. She's the one wearing the star on her head.
Nice footwork there, Super Six-Pack. Gets through the pack. She is not lead jammer.
That was a beautiful maneuver by Minstrel Psycho, twirling her way around the inside. She was named lead jammer and wanted to call off the jam as quickly as possible, doing a little damage control, despite the fact that Super Six-Pack did pick up a couple points on that pass.
And we're at a whopping 1-2 in the favor of the Breakneck Betties. Avalanche here lining up against Northern Lights Out. Betty's still with that pack advantage.
Not only are these 2 super fierce and tenacious jammers on the track, they also happen to be 2 of the loveliest, kindest women in the league. Love seeing them face off against each other.
Avalanche getting knocked out of bounds there.
Looked like Ripley. Beautiful little hit by Ripley. Just managed to slow Avalanche down a little bit. However, she did get out, and she is your lead jammer.
Northern Lights Out getting recycled to the back.
And just in case Avalanche wasn't sure, Ripley was trying to force her to get a track cut, but she did re-enter in the back of the pack legally.
Avalanche had enough of that jam, calls it off, picking up 3 more points for the High Rollers.
I really got to commend the Betties on that defensive maneuvering in that last jam. I mean, Avalanche was really, really being made to work for those 3 points she picked up. Really had no choice but to call off that jam with the other jammer hot on her heels.
Liquor and Split jamming for the Betties there. Felice Brutality for the High Rollers, and she gets knocked out of bounds by Ripley. Run to the back, and Liquor and Split is your lead jammer.
Shallon Spocker managed to catch just a little piece of Liquor and Split, but with such immense force coming out of a jammer like Liquor and Split, you're going to have to work harder than just a little bit of a hip check. Lesson learned.
Iron Meg holding her back, forcing her to call off the jam. Minstrel Cycle lining up against That would be number 9.
Sweet Jane.
Sweet Jane.
Sweet Jane is currently facing off against a disastrous Diamond of Doom by the High Rollers. Really beautiful defensive strategy. We're seeing a lot of this season. Northern Lights Out managing to catch a little piece of Minstrel Psycho at that last second. In fact, causing a track cut penalty. Power Jam Betties. We have a little bit of a standoff at hand right now. We had an attempted star pass. That's when the jammer tries to pass her scoring abilities to the pivot. She's the one that wears the stripe. But the only 2 people that can touch that cap are the jammer and the pivot. We have a wall of 1 by Heidi Go Seek. And Nanio Business emerging from the penalty box to join her teammate Heidi Go Seek in catching a little bit of Super Six Pack.
Super Six Pack now out, picking up 5 more points for the Betties. And I do believe this jam will go the full 2 minutes.
That's exciting for us and exhausting for them. Super Six Pack charging right down that middle of a disheveled High Rollers wall, picking up another 5 points for a grand slam.
That was an all-natural, no ghost points added grand slam. High Rollers picking up 3 on that last pass before the final whistle there.
I would love to take this opportunity to give special thanks to one of our favorite sponsors, Ron Tonkin Fiat. The largest selection of new and used autos in the Pacific Northwest is only a click away at Tonkin.com.
Start a ruckus lining up for the Betties.
Facing off against Avalanche for the High Rollers. Have her at a near stop at the front of the pack.
Betties with a super effective triangle defense there, holding Avalanche back and pushing her to the inside.
That was some really beautiful defensive work by Chestnuts, as well as Automatic Weapon and Spank.
Avalanche breaks through victorious, has lead jammer for the High Rollers.
She's also finding herself in a power jam scenario right now. Some beautiful offense being played by Iron Meg.
Chestnuts in there, I believe, with the hit on Avalanche.
High Rollers doing a great job of manipulating the distances between them and the pack, seeing that the jammer was emerging from the box.
Whew.
That was some huge defense by the Betties, really giving Avalanche no choice but to call that. And special thank you to Bridgetown Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of the Rose City Rollers since the very beginning. Thank you so much for keeping us in working order.
Woohoo! Police brutality on the line against Liquor and Split. Police brutality bouncing off of Northern Lights Out, but there goes Liquor and Split. She knew.
That was some beautiful booty swiping by Heidi, making a very clear path for Police Brutality to find her way through that pack. And we are in another power jam scenario for the High Rollers. This is going to afford them a great opportunity to narrow that lead.
And narrow they have. We're now 3 points away. Oh, the tough hit to the inside.
Oh my goodness, push la tush. I felt that from up here.
Felice Brutality now through with 5 points. That's the lead change, ladies and gentlemen. High Rollers now in the lead.
Wow, Liquor and Split coming charging out of that penalty box with so much force and just getting hammered back and forth by the whole High Rollers. We have some jammer on jammer defense going on as both jammers found themselves stuck in the pack. Felice Brutality deflecting that hit, but unfortunately being called out on a low block infraction. She's going to serve 30 seconds for that penalty.
Liquor and Split taking advantage and sneaking right through on the inside.
This is a very exciting jam. We have seen both a lead change and now the Betties taking that change back.
That was nice. Little jump there by Liquor and Split. Oh, and she just goes full force right into the back of Braun Swanson and Alicia Nesbitt Smith, but she's through the pack now. Picks up another 5 points for the High Rollers. Holy moly, that was amazing.
That was amazing, and I long for the days of instant replay as well as camera vantage points on the track. We do have an official review. I'm going to be headed down to see what that's all about.
And while she's down there, would like to thank some other sponsors. We want to thank Big Brothers Big Sisters Sports Buddies. Rose City Rollers is a proud sports buddy partner, encouraging young people to get out and get active. Thank you, Big Brothers and Big Sisters.
All right, so that timeout was called by the High Rollers, and they are calling into question the legality of that very exciting apex jump we just saw. The High Rollers coach for this evening, Penny Dreadful, is calling into question whether, in fact, Liquor did not drag her leg inbounds and out of bounds, kind of teetering on the edge of that. So we've got some referee discussion. We're going to find out what they come up with.
Thank you for that heads up, Layla. She'll let us know what the verdict is once the refs talk it out. Another sponsor we'd like to thank, of course, is the OHSU Sports Medicine. Proud to be the official medical care team of the Rose City Rollers.
All right, so it looks like there will be no call. 3 referees seem to agree that her skate was on the tape, though scandalous, still inbounds.
So the no call stands. Thank you, Layla Smackdown, for getting the scoop there. Super six-pack lining up for the Betties.
Facing off against Minstrel Psycho, charging full bore into a wall of Betties. Super six-pack is your lead jammer. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge that Betty's blocker lineup. We have Ripley, Chestnuts, Automatic Weapon, and Push Latush. It's no wonder that Psycho has barely made it out of turn 1. That is a fierce wall she is facing.
30 seconds into this jam and still no lead jammer, but there goes Super Six-Pack. She gets through, she is.
Wow, that was a beautiful offensive block by Automatic Weapon, just clearing out a little bit of a runway for Super Six-Pack to easily pick up 5 points for a Grand Slam.
And right around behind Alicia Nesbitt-Smith, picking up another 5 points. Super Six-Pack for the breakneck Betties. And she takes a cue and calls it off.
You know, the footwork within this league by jammers has gotten so precise that you really need to be seeing your hits all the way out of bounds. Because if you give them an inch on the inside lane, that is all they need to take it and get all the points. All of the points.
Northern Lights out, going to start off this next jam in a power jam.
She is in a brief power jam scenario, and the high rollers do have a pack advantage. And no one saw Minstrel Psycho coming around the outside, lead jammer. And we do have a successful star pass with none other than Sweet Jane receiving the star. She is now the jammer for the Betties.
Minstrel Cycle getting through the pack, picking up 4 points, calling it off.
We want to say a special thank you to Bike Punk, locally printed, eco-friendly stickers, signs, and design. Visit bikepunk.com.
Liquor and Split on the line up against Avalanche. Nobody in the penalty box.
I love that. I love that. 5 on 5. It's the game at its purest.
Both jammers just getting knocked around.
We have a really interesting 3-1 strategy that just happened. I haven't seen that in a few years. We had a beautiful wall of 3 high rollers blocking the jammer, while one blocker was just playing a little hand grenade offense for her jammer. And it worked to the high rollers' advantage, as Avalanche is your lead jammer.
Got to figure out a way to get in there and break up those solid walls by both teams.
And with walls like the Betties have, a hand grenade is pretty much what you're going to need.
Or lots and lots of C4, and there goes Avalanche with 5 more points for the high rollers.
The high rollers doing all they can to cascade waterfall that pivot out of bounds, trying to interrupt a little strategy.
Fashionista to the penalty box for forearms.
Meanwhile, Avalanche is just going to go ahead and call off the jam, making it look very elegant in the process.
That's the sound my brain is making right now.
Did it just explode?
It exploded.
Well, I'm really thirsty, and when I'm thirsty, I like drinking Fat Tire Ale. And also the Ranger IPA. It's pretty good. I'm into it. Grab one from concessions the next time you come to a bout.
They have one of my favorite slogans, Big Fat Fun.
I'm into
love
it.
that.
I am into that. And I am also super into Felice Brutality, racing her way around the outside. Ain't no thing. She's your lead jammer. Betties racing their way around. Oh, my God. Oh, no. Yowzer. It was graceful, and then it was painful, and it's going to be 30 seconds in the penalty box for Felice Brutality.
Who needs physics when you've got roller skates, right?
You know what? That was a really beautiful last-minute booty tap by Shaolin Spocker. She did compromise her relative position, but it worked to the advantage as it did cut as track cut on the jammer. So well done there.
Now Starter Ruckus taking the place in the jammer penalty box. Felice Brutality gets around Chestnuts, and that's 5 more points for the high rollers.
Wow, the high rollers did a great job goading that last round just to do a little bit of speed control. Beautiful offensive hit by Braun Swanson, opening up that inside line for Brutes. She has scored another 5 points.
That's a lead change, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God, another lead change. High Rollers fans, if you're out there, don't be afraid to make some noise for your girls in green. Five more points, Grand Slam, Police Brutality.
Again, with that solid triangle defense by the Betties.
Blocker Heidi Go-Seek doing a great job communicating to her blockers. Unfortunately, they underestimated Starter Ruckus's relative foot speed, which is quite impressive. You know what? That Starter Ruckus got some moxie.
Ooh, boy.
She's got some tenacity and some moxie, and I'm into it. And I'm also really into kind bars.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I used to be called Layla Smackdown. Sometimes I called Layla Snackdown. And I love Kind Snacks, a brand of all-natural whole nut and fruit bars made from ingredients you can see and pronounce. Minstrel Psycho wearing the star for the High Rollers. Facing off against Ivy Card Attack. This is the first time she is wearing the star for the Betties this evening.
Minstrel Psycho having a tough time getting around Pushless Tush, automatic weapon, and Ripley there. Ivy pushing her way up against a solid 3 wall, but there is automatic weapon trying to break up that pack.
Minstrel Psycho wedged between an elevator door of Push the Tush and automatic weapon. And she is your lead jammer. Wow, 50 seconds it took to have a lead jammer declared. That is a sign of some really world-class defense out there.
Ivy Cardi Attack having a tough time with Alicia Nesbitt-Smith and Shaolin Spocker back there.
Minstrel Psycho making up for some of that lost time this jam and easily working her way around for 5 points. Natural Grand Slam High Rollers. My goodness, the leg of Iron Meg was almost enough to prevent that star pass.
Looks like Ivy Cardi Attack was trying to pass the star, changed her mind, took it back. There was some star action going on there.
This is a really exciting game, and I'm not usually used to this kind of excitement on a Wednesday night. Whew, I'm gonna try and keep it together up here.
Luckily, I don't have a job to call in sick to tomorrow. Avalanche jamming for the High Rollers. Taking on Liquor and Split for the Breakneck Betties.
You know, Liquor and Split is not only an all-star jammer, she is one of the fiercest blockers I have ever skated with and against. So by joining this wall, I mean, it's like pulling a goalie. You know what I mean? Just one more person out there annihilating.
We've got Avalanche on the way to the penalty box for cutting the track. That's going to be a power jam for Liquor and Split, who still is getting the business end of Braun Swanson.
Oh my God, that is a beautiful tango of Heidi and Braun, really drawing that out as long as they possibly could.
I'm not going to lie, I have a huge derby crush on Braun Swanson.
Girl, get in line.
Right?
Now, Liquor and Split is through for Grand Slam 5 points. It did take some time to get those points, though. Breakneck Betties turning their attentions to Jammer Avalanche, having full faith in their own jammer that she really has no problem going it alone. Ooh, Super Six-Pack working her way up that inside.
And again, just fantastic blocking by both.
This is unbelievable
here.
Defense.
Eventually, the two spread out enough. They got to let her go. Liquor and Split with another 5 points for the Breakneck Betties.
You know, this jam might be bringing back some haunting dreams for Liquor and Split. She faced a similar jam during the championship game. God, guys, have some fun out there, would ya?
I don't recall that goosing an opponent being prohibited in the WFDA rules.
You know, we might need to reassess this because we don't revisit the rule set enough. Right. So I think that we need to now put an addendum in for goosing and then take 12 votes on it.
I would say it didn't compromise anyone's relative position by giving her a little goose there.
All in good fun. All in good fun. And leaping off the line for the High Rollers, we have Felice Brutality, number 48. She is your lead jammer. Wow, Alicia Nisbet-Smith cutting off that outside tiptoe by Sweet Jane. On a single skate, Felice Brutality works her way around Chestnuts. Not an easy task for 5 more points for the High Rollers. The High Rollers playing a little ring around the rosy. Iron Meg doing everything she can to keep that pivot away from the jammer. Wow. You know, Felice Brutality is one of my favorite skaters in the league. There, I said it. I say it all the time. Regardless of what color she's wearing ever, she is just a pleasure to watch. She is one of the most poised, calm, and tenacious skaters in the Rose City Rollers. And she picked up 5 points on that pivot, on that apex jump. Woo. And wow. I know, I'm getting sweaty up here, girl. It is not just the humidity of this beautiful March day in Portland. It is the intensity of the game. And you know what else is super intense? Secret Aardvark. Viva la Aardvark. Viva la Aardvark. I love it all over my eggs. Now we are definitely seeing an instance of penalties starting to catch up with the pack as we have 3-on-2 blocker advantage with Northern Lights out going a little defense there.
Shaolin Spocker picking up lead jammer. I think this is her first time jamming this evening.
This is most certainly her first time jamming because I would have remembered otherwise. Wow. Heidi doing an amazing job of engaging that runaway pack and just kicking the brakes down. My goodness. Like a boulder in the road, like a rock in the stream, like sands through the hourglass. No, wait, that's something else.
Reel it in a little there, sister.
I'm telling you, I'm losing it for a Wednesday. You know what? There's also magic in the air, and you know where there else is magic? In the hole.
Voodoo Donuts.
Girl, thank you, Voodoo Donut, proud sponsor of the Rose City Rollers and the Wheels of Justice.
Avalanche jamming for the High Rollers, taking on Super Six Pack.
It's like a lot of deja vu.
Oh.
Ooh,
Oh
wow. That is a very hard part of Ripley to have hit you. Ripley is definitely a standout blocker for the Breakneck Betties. Can't wait to see the more great stuff that will come from her this season on the Wheels of Justice as well.
Super Six Pack in the penalty box for cutting the track, putting the High Rollers in another power jam.
Avalanche having a little wind knocked out of her, but really swiveling those hips around the outside of Ripley, narrowly avoiding a huge hit, picking up 4 points in the process. Ooh, 5, even better for her. That was a big jam for the high rollers. However, 40 points in roller derby in a league of this caliber is really nothing to get too comfortable with. Anything can happen in the second half.
Anything could happen in the next two jams.
Oh my God, it's so true.
Oh, Braun Swanson on the line for the high rollers.
That is something I will never get tired of hearing. Liquor is going to join her fellow blockers in trying to serve as an impasse for Braun Swanson.
How do you stop a force such as Braun Swanson? Well, apparently you put Push Latush, an automatic weapon, in the mix.
I mean, that's really the only choice you have. Oh, and Braun Swanson is going to go to the box for, looks like, engaging with her head.
I think it was blocking to the head to Northern Lights out there.
Okay.
She took it to the chin, but it looks like it was only a brief penalty there.
Oh my goodness, they did not even see her coming. She is just making this oval a circle and making her initial pass. Ain't no thing.
Nice hit there by Tush. LaPush.
Push Latush is a great landlord of that inside line. She's not going to let just anybody pass through.
You shall not pass. Around the outside, and that's 4 more points.
Moonwalking her way through that pack.
4 points right behind for Automatic Weapon, who now possesses the star cover and is the jammer of note for the Betties, but she is going to the penalty box for back blocking.
Yeah, she came into that wall really hot, and the high rollers are pretty sturdy, so...
Nice control there by Braun Swanson, making sure that she doesn't get the cut track penalty. Recycling all the way back behind Liquor and Split.
Blocker Heidi Goseek doing a really amazing job of analyzing who in that moment was the biggest threat to her jammer. And it's none other than Chestnuts, so a great job of communicating that and setting a beautiful pick on Nuts.
Want to thank another sponsor. We want to thank Car2Go. Meet the future of car sharing. Sign up today at car2go.com.
Felice Brutality wearing the star for the high rollers. Narrowly escaping, stepping out of bounds, and she is your lead jammer, Power Jam High Rollers. Oh my goodness. Do you see what I'm talking about with her agility and footwork?
Wow.
I don't know if she actually has any bones in her body. Doing a great job of just passing Automatic Weapon off to her trusty blockers.
Avoiding the hit, she's through. That's 5 more points on the board for Felice Brutality.
Beautiful adjustment by Northern Lights Out, quickly switching her attention from defense and then to offense, wasting no time.
And there she goes again, Felice Brutality through for another 5 for the high rollers. Time has run out on the period clock, but we're now going by the jam clock, which is in control of by Felice Brutality.
Indeed it is. This jam will continue for as long as she would like it to.
And that's as long as she would like it to.
I hope I did not put that bee in her bonnet. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have just under 10 minutes for halftime. So schmooze with your neighbor. Give a high five. Stick around. All right, we are getting ready to start the second half of this super exciting bout. I would like to take this moment to thank our in-house DJ for the evening, Agent Meow, blowing my mind with Faith No More. Randy Pan, I know you're out there somewhere, man. I hope to do you proud. I'm also having a super great time
Oh my gosh.
With Mistress Mouth.
Oh my gosh.
We have an ovary-rich announcing staff tonight, and I am into it. I hope that you are as well. And we are getting ready to start this jam. Liquor and Split wearing the star for the Breakneck Betties, having a lot of success joining her fellow blockers right off the line.
Liquor and Split says, I can block. I can block while I'm jamming. But Felice Brutality gets called on the cut track, so she's going to head to the penalty box. Liquor and Split picking up lead jammer for the Breakneck Betties.
We are about to have 4 blockers on 4. Betty's doing a great job of crashing into that wall of high rollers, just scrambling them up.
Ripley getting up in there trying to break up that defense by the Holy Rollers. Liquor and Split picks up a 5-point grand slam for the Breakneck Betties.
Breakneck Betties had some great awareness of seeing that Felice Brutality was coming charging out of that penalty box with a lot of foot speed, really asserting their stability and making it that much harder on her. But she is out.
3 more points for the Betties at the end of that one.
That was a great job, and that's kind of what I like to call damage control. Something else I really like is Bridgetown Automotive. When quality counts, call Bridgetown Automotive. They support Rose City Rollers while taking great care of your car.
Well, we are in the middle of this official timeout. You know what that means. It's an official taco timeout. Porque no?
Porque yes!
Absolutely. They've got amazing tacos with 2 locations on Mississippi and Hawthorne. Check them out and tell them, hey, thanks for being a roller derby sponsor.
All right, there is... Effie is taking great care of me in here. I'm going to get back at you. I'm very grateful to head ref Oedipus Ref. He is very communicative and patient with me, a lot more patient now that I don't wear skates, and I'm grateful to him for not holding grudges against me for that.
I'm always all about Team Ref. Team Zebra is my favorite group of people ever. I love all of my referees and NSOs. You guys are awesome.
Basically what's going on is the refs have gotten together and decided that number 70 from the Breakneck Betties engaged a referee when it could have been avoided. It is resulting in a gross misconduct expulsion.
Wow.
So that's what we have going on. Basically, the referees have decided that it could have been avoided. She didn't. She came in too hot. She took them down. She's going to go suffer the consequences.
And again, that is not because the referees want to be picky. It's because they've got everybody's safety in mind and want to make sure that everybody on the track is as safe as possible at all times. If they're feeling that you're not being safe, they've got to let you go. Northern Lights out on the line for the Betties, but there goes Minstrel Psycho picking up lead jammer for the High Rollers.
Super Six Pack and Minstrel Psycho going face to face for a little second there. Little heated moment. Wow. High Rollers keeping that pack sped up, did a great job of just making it so that Minstrel Psycho could bob and weave her way around, picking up a bunch of points on that pass.
And setting up for an exciting next jam with the Betties with 2 of their blockers in the penalty box. It'll be a 2-on-4 advantage to the High Rollers.
We would like to say special thanks to PDX Pipeline, your online source for Portland's music, arts, and event happenings. It's a happening.
It's all happening.
All right, High Rollers having a blocker advantage, 4-2 out there, with Avalanche tiptoeing her way around the outside of Ripley into the lead jammer position.
That was an amazing little spin move there she did, getting around Ripley, staying in bounds.
Wow, none of your business, and looks like Fashionista did a great job of 1-2 hitting the jammer Starter Ruckus and escorting her to the penalty box.
It was a cut track penalty, sending Starter Ruckus to the box. Avalanche through the pack now, picking up 5 more points for the High Rollers.
High Rollers doing a great job, doing what they can to protect their jammer from Chestnuts. I would want to be protected from Chestnuts. She is a lovely woman in her regular clothes, but she is a force of nature on the track.
Starter Ruckus through the pack now on her initial pass, but Avalanche says nope. Nope.
Something I would say yes to is a trip to Buffalo Gap Saloon and Eatery, John's Landing's favorite eatery and saloon for like ever. That place is great.
Oh, now I'm getting hungry.
They also have a paleo-friendly menu, so all the paleo freaks out there, heads up.
One of these days I'll figure out what that means. Liquor and Split on the line for the Breakneck Betties up against Felice Brutality.
Wow, Liquor and Split charging full bore against Braun Swanson. Finally finding her way out, though. You know, if you're only going to have 2 blockers on the track for you, they might as well be Braun Swanson and Heidi Gosek.
Indeed.
Felice Brutality taking advantage of their amazing offense and picking up 4 points in the process. You know what? I like roller derby. You know who else does?
Kelly Brown!
Kelly Brown likes roller derby. Special thanks to Kelly Brown Debt Relief.
Roller derby likes Kelly Brown back. It's likes.
It's mutual.
Yeah.
I'm into that. Super Six Pack launching herself from a few steps behind the jam line and finding an easy inside path. She is your lead jammer, Breakneck Betties.
She had a nice little hop move in there to get around Alicia Nesbitt Smith, then cut into the inside to get through, pick up lead jammer. That's a 5-point all natural, no preservatives added. Grand slam for Super Six Pack.
Wow, that was some huge offense by Bad Wolf out there. The Betties didn't even see her coming. She just slowly scooped them around the outside to join her blockers. Wow. Beautiful, subtle hit by Minstrel Psycho, forcing Super Six Pack all the way to the back of the pack, and the High Rollers accordioning their way back. Unfortunately, Oedipus Ref is saying that Iron Meg did not regroup quickly enough.
All kinds of action happening at PBR penalty box over there.
Super Six Pack checking in with Coach Determinator, attempting to check in with Jam Coach, and eventually successfully calling off the jam. If you didn't know where you were, I'm here to remind you that you are at Oaks Amusement Park, the home of the Rose City Rollers and the place to purchase your derby gear. And I'll be back.
That is, of course, unless you're watching at home. Thank you to Blaze Media for being here for us tonight, blasting this out over the interwebs. Layla SmackDown's going to go investigate, see what's happening.
We are just taking this brief moment to get our penalty ducks in a row. This is a part of the evening where people start to get a little chippy. So we just want to make sure that everyone is sent to their beds without dinner for 30 seconds, pay their dues, do what you do.
Think about what you've done. Rose City would also like to thank the Night Light Lounge, Rose City's favorite Clinton Street bar, and the only place to get your Rose City Rollers tickets here in town. Check them out. I think there's a pretty big Wheels of Justice bout going on. Is that next week? Not this weekend, but next weekend, next Friday.
World-class roller derby right in your hometown.
Friday night is Jet City coming down to take on the Heathers. And then Saturday night is going to be Wheels of Justice taking on Rocky Mountain.
Northern Lights out wearing the star for the Breakneck Betties. And she is going to be the only one in the track in the moment. Oh, nope. It looks like we have a little bit of jammers sent to the penalty box.
Holy Rollers with one skater in the pack at the moment. But the penalty box is starting to empty out. Holy moly.
What, were they giving away free samples of something in there? Wow, Northern Lights out, making it look real easy. I said it before, she is a very casual styled skater. She never really looks like she's exerting a ton of energy. Really sustainable, and proof's in the pudding. She's scoring another 5 points, lickety-split, super easy.
Northern Lights out, making another quick 4 points through the pack, while her blockers are holding back Avalanche, running her to the back of the pack.
Well, when something works so successfully the first time, you might as well just keep trying it. That is a serious lineup of Breakneck Betties blockers. Spank, Ripley introducing Minstrel Psycho to the floor.
Oh,
yeah.
that hurt.
That is a little bit of a reverse direction.
A little bit of
block.
clockwise blocking going there.
Things get a little bit tricky at the apex of the track. You have to really actively be moving forward. Northern Lights out for another 5 points. I am so impressed by Northern Lights Out's performance as jammer for the Breakneck Betties this evening. She's doing a great job of really depleting that deficit.
24 points for Northern Lights out in that last jam, and we've got the High Rollers calling for an official review. Layla SmackDown will be right in the middle of it to let us know what's happening. We'd also like to thank McDonald Miller Facility Solutions, another proud sponsor of the Rose City Rollers. Give them some derby lovin'.
There's a little discussion going on right now as to whether or not Jammer Northern Lights Out potentially cut the track. Coach Penny Dreadful said that she witnessed one referee call her on a track cut penalty, while then another referee overturned that penalty. She's looking for a little clarification as to why it would have been overturned, and hopefully for the high rollers, get that penalty call reinstated. So I'll let you know what they came up with.
Definitely the refs can see things from different angles and see things differently, where one ref, it might look like she'd cut the track, but a different ref might have had a better perspective, and they're discussing that, or might not. We'll see what the verdict is.
Okay, all right, so here's what's going on. So there was a miscommunication between referees, which is completely understandable. There's a lot going on. Like I said, this is the time in the game where a lot of penalties start coming in. So what happened was the jammer was called for a track cut. Simultaneously, a different blocker was being called for a no pass, like an overturning of it. So there was just miscommunication. So what's going to happen now is the Betties jammer is going to be sent to the penalty box to serve at most 30 seconds. So that's what's going on.
And so the high rollers win that review. They will retain and will be allowed one more official review in the course of this second period. But now we've got Northern Lights Out with her behind in the penalty box. Starting off a power jam will be Police Brutality for the high rollers. But they're still discussing it, so which is great because that gives Layla Smackdown more time to rejoin us up here. Hi, hi.
So they're also still discussing just clearing up some penalties, clearing the slate for some people. There was an individual, I'm pretty sure for the Betties, I overheard a number. Oh, I'm lying. Actually, not sure who it's for, but they're discussing whether or not someone that had served a penalty had served all of her time. A referee called a skater out for 2 different infractions, which means that skater should have sat for a total of 1 minute. I think we're ready to start. Almost. Well, it looks like the skaters are ready to start. I'm ready to start.
Yeah, the skaters are ready. The refs are still going over some notes here. Want to take us just a moment to thank another sponsor, Hope Baraka Realtor, helping Portlanders buy and sell their dream home. Check them out.
And that's legit. I know that Skeeve Holt, buddy, shout out to my buddy Skeeve Holt, who is watching from Kansas City. I know that she got her home through the help of Hope Baraka. So it's legit. Our sponsors really help us. We want to help them too. We also want to say thank you to X-Ray FM. I love this new radio station. I don't know about you. And X-Ray FM loves roller derby. So find X-Ray at 107.1 on the FM dial.
All right, all right.
Oh, I see what's going on over there. The high rollers were losing their minds for a moment over on that bench, and it was for none other than lead-speaking Missile getting her turbo diesel on. Thank you, Betty's cheerleaders, for staying so fit and fabulous.
Next whistle will indeed start the jam.
And we're back. Felice Brutality launching herself into a tight wall of automatic weapon. Push la tush. She is out as your lead jammer.
Three-on-two pack advantage to the rollers. And Felice Brutality takes every advantage and picks up 5 points.
Braun Swanson and Elisa Nisbet-Smith did a great job of providing a little 1-2 punch, little hand grenade offense, as I like to say, just making it really easy for Felice Brutality to have picked up those points. Northern Lights Out being escorted outside by that cascading waterfall of green. Tiptoeing around.
Two refs for
Wow.
the price of one there.
Wow. Okay, so what just happened there was Alicia Nisbet-Smith. We're going to take it down a notch and check in with our skater, make sure everyone's okay. And that's something we love to see, a skater skating off the track of her own volition. That was a very powerful hit by Alicia Nisbet-Smith.
Liquor and split up against Avalanche. Avalanche pushed to the outside. Is going to get run to the back.
Liquor and Split did a really great job of just really forcing that track cut penalty, escorting Avalanche to her wall, getting the penalty. Now, of all skaters that Betty should have to do some damage on that score, it is definitely Liquor and Split, easily picking up those 5 points as she gallops over the feet of her opponents. Taking a little self-assist off of the back of Ripley, Liquor finds herself at the front, facing off against, Heidi goes Seek and Iron Meg. Wow.
With a wide spread out pack, she finally gets through. That's 5 more points.
Rogue One fighting her way out of a goading scenario just in time to meet her blockers in a dead stopped wall. Avalanche creeping up that inside on her tippy toes. This was her initial pass. Whew. That was something. If you are watching at home, first of all, thank you so much. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you have great seats. We would like to thank Blaze Streaming Media for providing us with the opportunity to bring the broadcast to your living room. The live broadcast of tonight's bout is brought to you by Blaze Streaming Media.
Felice Brutality versus Super Six Pack.
Felice Brutality entering that pack real hard with the simple flick of her shoulder, breaking up that wall of Betties. Still not finding an answer, though.
And we've got Super Six Pack in the penalty box for cutting the track. Now high rollers and another power jam.
That was an amazing amazing offensive block by Fashionista. Seeing the chestnuts was the biggest threat, forcing her out of bounds, allowing Felice Brutality to jump back in. Well-intentioned little blocker assist by Push Latouche to get Ripley to engage Felice Brutality, but when you're up against a skater like Felice Brutality, you can't go it alone.
Takes the hit there from Ripley, gets through the pack for another 5 points for the High Rollers.
That was a beautiful pick by Ripley against Braun Swanson. She was the last line of defense for Super Six Pack.
Whew. Holy moly.
Right?
That is some exciting stuff.
You know what shouldn't be exciting? Your plumbing. But if you have problems with it, you should get in touch with Black Hat Plumbing. Black Hat Plumbing, your local neighborhood plumbing company, and a proud part of the Rose City Rollers since 2009.
Yes, plumbing excitement is never a good kind of excitement.
Never. But with two lady referee announcers, who better to talk about the importance of good plumbing?
Exactly.
Northern Lights Out is your lead jammer, Breakneck Betties. Wow. Shaolin Spocker spinning her way to the outside, slow and low, looking like she's surfing. I'm really into that.
Oh, went to the inside. Gotta have to give it another go. Lights out, sent to the back of the pack. She's recycling through.
That was some really beautiful defending of the inside line by Fonda Brawls.
4 points on that last pass for Northern Lights Out.
I don't know what the High Rollers think is so special about the penalty box right now.
Well, Northern Lights Out wants to check it out for herself. She will now go to the penalty box for a cutting the track penalty.
Shaolin Spocker following right behind one of her blockers, letting her join in the fun before she engages. High Rollers doing a great job of meeting Northern Lights Out, letting and trusting their jammer, Shaolin Spocker, to go it alone, picking up 4 points for the High Rollers.
Shaolin Spocker trying to get around Chevy Chevelle, an automatic weapon.
All right, this jam is getting ready to be underway. Cutting through the middle is very dangerous. A lesson learned the hard way by Automatic Weapon. She is waved off the track. Super Six Pack getting the what for in the back. Iron Meg digging her heels in as a kickstand, not letting Super Six Pack get any foot speed.
Chestnut there sent to the penalty box now. 3-on-4 pack advantage to
Whoa.
the High Rollers.
Whoa.
Avalanche.
Coming in hot. Grand slam, 5 points.
Sees Super Six Pack right behind her, calls off the jam. Those bumpers are getting a lot of action today.
Hi-yo.
Believe we have an team timeout called by the Breakneck Betties.
I would like to dedicate this music minute to both The King and Magic Pony Power Hour.
Aww. All right, we've got the Betties coming back out, and we'd like to also thank another sponsor, Shebop, a female-friendly sex toy boutique right here in Portland, Oregon. Show them some roller derby lovin'.
All right, it looks like we are resuming the positions. We are so grateful for our hardworking referees. This is a very thankless task, and we're so grateful to them for showing up, keeping us straight, and making sure all of our ducks in a row. Liquor and Split trying to charge through a wall of Rogue One, while Felice Brutality skates her way to the lead jammer position.
Rogue One off to the penalty box for that. Fleece Brutality looking for the outside lane.
Unbelievable. That is the precision footwork I have been talking about when it comes to the caliber of jammers this season in the Rose City Rollers.
Fleece Brutality doesn't like her advantage over Liquor and Split, and she calls off the jam.
Special thanks to Laurelhurst Theater and Pub, the best of modern cinema, independent art, and classic film to Portland's movie lovers. I love that place. It's really close to my house. If you're gonna go sometime, give me a call. We can go together. We can hang out. It'll be fun.
Super excited to have Braun Swanson back on the line, taking on Northern Lights Out.
I think she's super excited too because she is lead jammer for her high rollers.
Braun Swanson knocked out of bounds outside turn 1. It's gonna get rewound all the way behind Ripley. Looks to the inside, gets it that time. That's 5 points.
That was some really great offense by Rogue One, just scrambling up things on the outside, causing a little bit of confusion and allowing Braun Swanson to just eke her way on the inside. And you know what? It felt so good. Why don't we do it again?
Hulk smash.
She's wearing green. I mean, it's only appropriate. Northern Lights Out, having served her 30 seconds, is going to do her best to work her way around that near immobile wall of green out there. Ripley doing a phenomenal job for her Betties, serving as a kickstand, bracing that wall, because you've got to imagine there is some good force being applied to the wall by Braun Swanson. That's a really phenomenal defensive strategy. We've got that little tornado of twisting death. And you know, even if you are low blockers, when you have Chestnuts out there, when you have Ripley out there, it's gonna really make things easier for your jammer.
10 points for Braun Swanson on that last jam before she calls it off. Taking the high rollers to 220 to the breakneck Betties. 141. We've got just less than 10 minutes left in this second half. Anything can happen, ladies and gentlemen. I want to hear the breakneck Betties fans make some noise.
That sounds like a lot of breakneck Betties fans. Give it up for the high rollers out there. Any high rollers fans? Super six-pack jumping over the obstacles in her path, skipping her way to lead jammer for the breakneck Betties.
Super six-pack up against that 4 wall of high rollers. Down to 2 now. Avalanche still working her way around 3 of the Betties.
Super six-pack looking less than thrilled with the penalty assessment of a low block. She doesn't need to like it. She's just got to deal with it. Shallon Spocker playing the little hand grenade offense for her jammer. And the ref didn't like it, so he sent her away for it. Avalanche doing a great job of juking her way around. Start a ruckus out there.
Yeah, nice little fake out there.
Yep. High rollers letting their jammer go it alone while they try to close the door on Super Six-Pack. And it succeeded, forcing her all the way to the back of the pack.
Avalanche getting the business end of Push Latush. And there goes Super Six Pack out of the pack, picking up 4 points before the end of that jam.
Special thanks to Timothy Murray Photography. Visit timothymurrayphotography.com for classic black and white film derby images. We'd also like to thank the good people of Eco Construction. The friendly people at Eco Construction love custom home building, remodels, and roller derby. Of course they do. Thank you, Eco Construction.
Police Brutality on the line for the High Rollers, taking on a Liquor and Split for the Breakneck Betties.
I love seeing these two face off against each other because while they're both really focused and determined, they also have such pure love and respect for the sport. You know they're having a good time out there, especially when you are named lead jammer, as Police Brutality just was.
Indeed. Braun Swanson opening up a bit of a hole for her to squeeze her way through. She's through the pack for 5 more points for the High Rollers.
Gypsy Curse, Bashanista, and Braun Swanson taking their turn at Starter Ruckus, who has just put on the star. Police Brutality did manage to call off the jam in time to not allow the Breakneck Betties to score any points on that pass. If you're hungry, when you get out of here, you've got some options. You could totally check out Joe's Burgers because that place is awesome and they frequently feed our volunteers. So thank you for feeding us. If you're just looking for a light snack, check out a Kind Bar.
Northern Lights out on the line for the Betties up against Bad Wolf, jamming for her first time tonight.
I love when Bad Wolf is on the track in any capacity. She happens to look really good in the star. She is yet another patient, methodical, and reserved jammer. Push Latush doing a great job of dragging that out as long as possible, delivering Bad Wolf to that outside line.
Northern Lights out, gets her hips around Alicia Nesbitt-Smith and calls off the jam.
We are so grateful to our league sponsors, the Portland Mercury, Portland Vital Signs, City Graphics, and Kay's Bar. Kay's Bar does a great job with concessions during full capacity bout nights. So next time you come to a bout, be sure to come hungry.
Super Six Pack lining up behind Avalanche.
Wow, Avalanche finding a fracture in that sturdy wall of red, charging her way through.
Ripley pushes Avalanche out of bounds, opening it up for Super Six Pack to pick up lead jammer.
Wow, Fonda Brawl's catching a little piece of Avalanche, but Avalanche only needed an inch to work her way through that inside. We have a whistle symphony going on right now. This is definitely the time in the game when that happens. Hey, you know, we have a pretty full house of super special VIPs, though, with less than 4 minutes of this game. Are you guys having fun tonight? I know it's just a Wednesday, but that's awesome. Thank you. So am I. I'm glad that you are, too. There's plenty of fun to go around.
They call me tons of fun.
Hey, girl.
Northern Lights out up against Felice Brutality.
Wow, Northern Lights Out had no problem racing her way up the inside to redeem herself as lead jammer. Wow.
Taking that hit off of Braun Swanson, picking up 4 more points. Northern Lights out, but Felice Brutality is also out of the pack as well.
Northern Lights Out almost disappointed to have to call that jam. I think she was having a really good time. And like I said, she has just got energy in reserve, so she could probably just skate another bout after this. And I'm sure she would be really interested in thanking Left Turn Clothing, Core Service LLC, Red Fox Vintage, Upswept Creative, and the Double Barrel Tavern.
Avalanche taking on Ivy, Cardi attack.
Ripley doing a really great job of recycling Avalanche all the way to the back of the pack, having to start at that jam line all over again.
Liquor and Split getting in there and mixing up that wall of green blockers.
Ivy Cardi attack doing a really great job of just using her hips like a pendulum, trying to find a fracture in that wall of green any way she can. Doesn't try one approach for too long before trying something new.
That is a big, mean green wall right there.
It most certainly is. Alicia Nisbet-Smith, Heidi Gosek, and Rogue One really working beautifully together.
It only took almost 45 seconds into that jam for Avalanche to get through and pick up lead jam.
Avalanche trying to find an answer on that outside, but Liquor and Split's like, really? You think you can just get around me that easily? And now she's going to teach her a thing or two about that.
Ivy had thoughts of passing the star, but retained it, put it back on her head, and that's going to be the end of that jam.
We are also super grateful for team sponsors CrossFit Excellence, Moreland Vision Source, American Family Insurance, the Kenneth Hart Agency, Kelly's Olympian, as well as Adam Wheels. We could not do this without you. Thank you so much for your dedicated support of the Rose City Rollers home teams.
Sweet Jane up against Braun Swanson. Braun Swanson goes around the inside, gets past Ripley, picks up lead jammer for the High Rollers. Braun Swanson called on the cut track penalty. She will sit for 30 seconds and think about what she's done. Sweet Jane working on picking up some points for the Betties. Looks for an opening on the outside.
That was some beautiful offense by Automatic Weapon, making a very impactful hole on the outside for Jammer Sweet Jane. Unfortunately, she is up against a big, strong green wall.
So many whistles.
Beautiful job by None of Yo Business, reabsorbing Sweet Jane all the way to the back of the pack. Bad Wolf thinking that that looked like fun. Now she wants to have a go of it.
Braun Swanson on her way back to the penalty box for another cut track penalty.
That was a really beautiful and quick cap pass by Sweet Jane. Passing it to Chestnuts. I love seeing Chestnuts wear the star because this woman really can do anything. And she's going to score some points while she's at it. How about 5 of them?
There she goes. She's through for another 5 more points for Chestnuts.
That was a fast 5 points, too. And it looks like we have an unofficial final score. Ladies and gentlemen, you can feel free to step out onto the track and get ready to slap the hands of the winning team. In the meantime, I would also like to thank yet again Ron Tonkin Fiat. Sock it to me. Be awesome. Wear awesome. SockItToMe.com. Also, thank you Wired Eye Repair, your mom's favorite smartphone and tablet repair. My mom doesn't have a tablet. It's for the best. And also, thank you Bridgetown Automotive. Stick around. We're going to be checking in with the teams to find out who our MVPs of the game are. And it looks like we have an official final score. High Rollers 249 to Breakneck Betties 171. Give it up for your High Rollers!
And don't forget, give it up for the Breakneck Betties! All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gearing up here to present our MVPs. Each team picks one blocker and one jammer to commemorate as the MVPs. First, we'll start off with MVPs from the High Rollers.
All right, so the High Rollers, ably led by Iron Meg. First, let's go ahead and announce the MVP blocker for the Breakneck Betties. Who have we selected? Chestnuts, no stranger to MVP. Chestnuts, come on down. You're amazing. And who shall be joining her as MVP jammer?
Northern Lights Out.
Northern Lights Out. It's awesome. All right, ladies, face the camera.
All right, now I'm here with Fonda Brawls and Sweet Jane. And who is the High Rollers MVP blocker?
Heidi Go Seek.
Heidi Go Seek! And the MVP jammer?
Avalanche.
K2 Avalanche, come on down. Congratulations, ladies. Great bout on behalf of the Rose City Rollers. We would like to thank you all for coming out tonight. That's it. Layla Smackdown, it's been my pleasure. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Drive safe.